What's up, true believers? This is John Della Rose, the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction, coming at you from my car on my coffee break, in which I am recording my first video of my Marvel Epic Collection reviews. Now, I've done one of these on Periscope before, and I've talked about the Epic Collection. The Epic Collection is this initiative Marvel has to publish old stuff from like the 60s through the 90s, up until about Onslaught when things got bad. And they stick issues in a format like this, where there's like, how many are in this one? 19, 20, 21. There's 22 issues in this one. There's usually about 22 to 25, somewhere in there. And just big blocks. They try to get, solid runs in books so that you have a pretty self-contained experience. And it's just awesome. So I pretty much read these almost exclusively now for comics, because it's all, the old stuff's good, the new stuff not so much. And you can get these real cheap on online and things like that. I traded for this one, so I didn't even pay for it. And it's just great. So I traded for this. This was one I wasn't sure when or if I was going to get it. I really didn't care about this. Marvel 2-in-1. So in the 70s, it's like an anthology series where the Thing just teams up with random Marvel superheroes and the like. They have a couple series like this. The other one is Marvel Team Up, which has people teaming up with Spider-Man, like it says. And what I found, anytime I picked up one of these books in the past, just one issue or so, I just found it to be trite. The team-up's really not to matter. They're really not pushing anything on the character level. They're really not developing anybody. So I was really coming into this just thinking this is going to be total trash and I'm going to hate it, which is interesting. So this volume here is volume 1. And it covers the first 19 issues of Marvel 2-in-1, as well as 2 issues of Marvel Feature 11 and 12, which preceded Marvel 2-in-1, and Marvel Team Up number 47. And the reason it covers Marvel Team Up is they actually did a crossover where the Thing teamed up with Spider-Man, so that Spider-Man came into this book, and then the Thing came into the Spider-Man book. The stories in this take place between the years 1973 and 1976. This is an interesting era for Marvel. It's kind of after Stan's really stepped back from all the writing. And you get some interesting writers in here. You get some interesting talent. This is probably not the best one. There we go. I can hold my... total professional here. All right. So you get some different talent in this book. You get Len Wein writing. You get... Bill Mantlo writes a lot of it. Chris Claremont writes a few episodes. Roy Thomas does. Marv Wolfman. Steve Gerber does a number of them. Tony Isabella does one. So you get a whole smattering. There's very little consistency as a result, because it's just whoever just happens to be bored and have an extra assignment that month seems to be the one to be doing this. And on the art side, it's the same thing. I mean, you get art all over the map. Sal Buscema and Ron Wilson do the biggest amount. Jim Starlin actually does an issue in here, which was very fun to read. Gil Kane, and then some people I haven't heard of. There's a lot of people in here doing a lot of different things. And so, I read it. Yeah, like I said, I was not expecting much from it. The first Marvel feature issues were 11 and 12. That one featured, the first one was featuring, who was it? Who did it even feature in Marvel feature? Featured the Hulk, so the Thing and the Hulk teamed up and fought, and that led into the Hulk walking across the desert and then having to meet Iron Man. And that one was an interesting one, because that was one of the early Thanos issues. So Jim Starlin got to work with his Thanos creation there, and I've already read that when I was reading up all the Infinity stuff. So I already knew this issue and was familiar with it. They're not the best issues; they're okay. But there wasn't it wasn't all that bad. When he switches over to his own title, he meets up with the Man-Thing, and we've got Steve Gerber writing. He's writing for a while. His writing's very campy, very cheesy, very 70s. You just get the Thing going into these plots and the Thing making these bold, proclamations and using a lot of New York slang as it is. And it's pretty silly. But I like that, it's not that bad. And as I read these issues, I found I kind of enjoyed it. I really enjoyed, this is Namorita down here. Let's see if we can put her on there. You know, you get a pretty girl in there. It's all right. And there's a little subplot thing develops where Namorita jumps in and out for a few issues, and this character Wondar, something like that. He's a guy who was like, I guess, built or just grown in like a vacuum tube in space or something like that. And he comes out fully formed, fully an adult, but he's like a baby basically. And he's got all sorts of cool powers, and the thing kind of like, you know, brings him along over the course of this. And Namorita drops by a few times. It looks like she's going to be a recurring character, and then she just kind of dives out, and that's it. And it's because of the inconsistent writers, like I said. So it's like as soon as Steve Gerber kind of built up this idea, the book was kind of taken from him. It goes into Chris Claremont's stuff, which is good. I enjoyed it too. So it's pretty good stuff all the way around. I mean, the thing teams up with Guardians of the Galaxy at one point. That was a pretty nice. Little storyline for 2 issues. Doctor Strange was a decent issue. Valkyrie was an okay one. I mean, they vary in quality. The Ghost Rider one was kind of dumb. It just goes. It's really up and down. It really just depends on who's doing it, and that's the problem with this. The Thor one was kind of lame. Black Widow was kind of lame. They did have a nice like cheesecake like Black Widow spy thing in it, and that was pretty nice though. I think the Iron Man one later was pretty good. The Son of Satan one really didn't make sense. That was my favorite. Probably was the Morbius adventure. Actually, I'll just go over that because that was my favorite one. Because they're so all over the map. It's really hard to discuss these without like spending hours and hours and hours. And I'm not going to do that to you guys. But yeah, it's just the Thing teaming up. There's no real character development. It's just like they are all one-off issues. It's just very lighthearted. So if you're just in the mood for just like some like very light stuff, this is definitely a good book for that. Now Morbius actually had a different sort of tone to it. And Morbius actually had these like really deep character emotions where he's dealing with being a vampire. He doesn't want to be one. He really wants to help everybody. He meets this alien princess, and and she's in love with him, and he's just like, no, I cannot go with you and be your alien prince until I cure myself of this. I don't know why he wouldn't just like hope the aliens would be able to fix him or something like that. But there were some nice character moments in that. Bill Mantlo wrote this one. And sometimes, you know, Bill Mantlo is all over the map for me. Sometimes I really love his work. Sometimes I don't. He tends to get really wordy and just throw in a lot of you know, dialogue boxes that don't matter, like this one. For those of you who tuned in to One Marvel Age too late, the lady is Alicia Masters, blind sculptress in the Lovelight, and the one Benjamin Grimm, the Thing, and the pale gentleman in the window behind is a vampire. Well, it's like, you know, you can kind of tell from the cover that Morbius is the living vampire, and if you don't know who the Thing is and you're buying this book, I don't know what to do. I mean, so that dialogue's really unnecessary, and it's all, you know, show don't tell kind of stuff. But still, the story worked out really well, and I totally enjoyed it all the same. So yeah, this is I can't say it's my favorite Epic collection. It is like I said, they're all over the map. That was my favorite one. I don't know what my least favorite one would be. Probably the Man-Thing issue, though that kind of had an interesting point to it too, because Thing and him both kind of related over being monsters or whatnot. I don't know. The Man-Thing one was kind of lame. Valkyrie was kind of lame. There's a Kazar one right after Morbius too. That was really lame. It literally had the Bond villain thing where like the Thing and Kazar go into like a volcano, and then they catch them in a cage, and then they slowly release them into the volcano lava as they walk away, and then they get out anyway, and they fight the inept guard. It's like, oh really? Did you really do this? And they did. Totally lame. But it's okay. I mean, there's lots of cheesy, campy stuff in it. There's lots of good action battles in it too. So it's like it's really a mixed bag, and that is my conclusion of this whole thing, as I keep saying. So, probably not one of my favorite epics, but not my least favorite epic either. I think there's like a 6 or 7 out of 10 overall, just because you get some solid art in here on some of the issues, you get some solid writing on some of the issues, and you get some garbage on some of the issues. It just is what it is. So that is it. Marvel 2-in-1 Epic Collection #1. This is the one I'm reading right now. I guess I'll prime you guys for what next one I do, so you can read along and we can discuss the issues together in the comments or whatnot. So the next one I'm probably going to read is Fantastic Four Volume 1 that just went into reprint. So you should be able to find it. I don't know if the reprints are out there yet, but it should, at least the prices should be going down on it. And I believe that covers Fantastic Four's issues 1 through 22 or somewhere about there. That's probably what I'll be reading next. This was just I don't know why I started reading this, but that's good stuff. That's Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, so I expect that to be absolute genius. So tune in next time for Marvel Epic Reviews on John Delarose's channel here. I'm only reviewing this stuff because it's old stuff, and you know there's no new writers who are going to get butthurt over what I'm saying if I trash their deal, or like their deal. You know, you never know. And so talking about the old stuff's uncontroversial. It's just fun. I like doing it. And so there's that. So hit the like button, subscribe, enjoy the review. Hope you like Marvel 2-in-1. I'll get better at this as I keep doing them. Probably going to keep doing them in my car or my office. Never going to have a fancy setup with like display screens or anything like that. Just going to hold up the books and kind of show you some stuff. So yeah, here's some of the art. It's 70s goodness. And have a great day.